fruitful lesson that you could share to the audience that you've learned from being a mother? Yeah.
The most fruitful. Who? You don't know shit about yourself until you have a kid.
Let's not be fake about it. It's like sometimes you tell someone in a regular, chill way, and they just walk all over that chill way. They're just like, blip, blip, blip.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. All the way through,
like,
right.
You know what I mean? And then you say it with like a little bit more.
Yes.
And they're like,
oh shit.
Let me sit down.
But you know why? It's because they probably like learned that as a kid too, to respond to that type of way.
Yeah.
It's like literally a pattern. Like if you don't break the pattern, it just continues and continues. So it's frustrating. Yeah. But that's what I had to learn. Yelling doesn't work. Kids.
So what do you do?
But then I saw a different side. Like, no, these are homeless people. Like at the end of the day, like remove what they do behind closed doors, remove like what they choose to associate themselves with. Like they're displaced and they're suffering and they don't have anywhere to go. But no, I've had clients that's like OD'd in front of me. I've had clients that's like threatened to burn down the building, that's actually started fires, in the program. I've had clients that's like cursed me out for filth in ways that I didn't even think I could be cursed out by another human being. Yes, you've been traumatized, so I'm trying to support you. But then also like I can't let you think that people are gonna care about your trauma. There's people that will care, don't get me wrong. But the majority, like I said, it's all about can you function? And can you do your job? Everyone's been through trauma. Everyone's been through shit. But
ago, it's the conversation. Yeah. Take your mind different places. Now you know. So yeah. What's up? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
We got Zoey in the crib.
Hi. Hi everyone.
This is amazing. I really let's take it back.
Okay.
We met in Gutman.
Yeah. Oh.
So talk to me about from Gutman to the point that you decided your profession.
Okay.
And then we could go from there.
Gutman to profession. So like I think I decided my profession in high school.
She's a case manager, by
I'm
the
a
way.
case manager.
You know what I'm saying? This quality.
I don't want to big myself up.
Quality. I get quality candidates to come here.
Thank you.
Yes.
I decided, my profession in high school, it was like my junior year of high school because I think that's when you have to start deciding what you want to do or like framing your college profession.
So you knew before you even went to
I knew
Gutman?
before. Yeah, like I was always telling people like I want to help people. I didn't know really like what that looked like, but I knew that I wanted to help people like with mental health issues and who were struggling in life and things like that. So, and I wasn't doing well on like my SATs. I remember that much as well. And I sucked at math. So I was just like, okay, what can I do? My mom was like pushing me for nursing, but I was like, I don't want to be a nurse because I'm not dealing with people's ailments and illnesses. Like, that's fine.
You're not that nice.
I'm not that nice.
Yeah,
it's like,
right? Yo, tell me that though. Nurses be like the sweetest people. For like the ones that make it to become nurses. Mm-hmm. All right, that's another topic.
That's another topic. Some of them. But I remember, telling my guidance counselor, like, I want to help people. And I had missed, like, all the deadlines. So, jump now to senior year. I had missed all the deadlines for, like, to apply to colleges. And I remember Gutman had just opened up. Because she pulled me in the office and she was like, all the other colleges are closed, but we have one college that's new. Because I don't think it was called Gutman back then. I think it was called, like, New Community College.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was just like, oh, really? Like, it's a new community college. That's the name you ran with, but okay. So I applied and I saw that they had like human services. So I was like, I don't know what that entails, but it's servicing humans. So that's fine. That's down my lane. So I applied, I got in, and then fast forward to Gutman. I chose it because it was in the city. And I was really trying to get away from Queens. Like I had my elementary school, middle school, high school, all in Queens. And all in like a 25-minute block radius from my house. So I was like, we need to get away from that. So I was like, okay, the city sounds cool. And I'm a night person anyway, so I was like, this gives me a chance to stay out at night. Ooh, ooh. Hey. So I chose
dynamics.
It changes dynamics. And I like the spot where it was right across the street from Bryant Park, so that's pretty dope. Right. So we entered Gutman. And it was, let me see, not what I was expecting.
What did you expect?
From Gutman or just from college in general? Like, Let me see. Okay, so like the campus was a letdown, but I think that's just my ego was looking for like a big campus, like,
Right.
you know, so I was like, okay, but that's fine.
I guess because when you're younger, you think about, I don't know, for example, people who go to like Stony Brook or like they go out of the state and then they have that whole like college experience.
Yeah, you're carrying,
like that,
you're
right?
walking like across campus to your
We
classes.
had that city grind,
and
just like back in going to the train, like
exactly. That's what I thought it was gonna be. Like I got to hike to classes, but that was exciting to me. I was like, I'm prepared. I was buying comfortable shoes and all that. So when I got to the campus, I was like, oh, that's it. Okay, that's fine. But Gutman was nice. Gumpus. I'm nervous, so.
Nah, why you nervous?
I don't know.
Don't
I know the camera's right there, and I'm just like,
this is
okay.
not even there. This is like
Block it out.
Right. It's just
Gutman was cool. In terms of like the diversity of the people. So I'll say that much. Very different backgrounds. A little snotty though, because it was cliquish.
It was cliquish.
It was very
small.
Yeah.
That's why I personally I was just like always just moving around. You know what I mean?
With the
like,
guitar, or did you not play guitar?
Nah, I didn't
For
play
some
guitar.
reason, I always thought
My
memory of you is always with the guitar.
Really?
I swear. Yeah, I'm just.
You know what's funny is that you're not the first person that said that to me. I have no idea why. Should I start playing the guitar?
Do you know how to play guitar?
No.
At all?
The instrument that draws attention to me the most would be the piano.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like I have the long fingers for it too. So it's just like.
You know what it is? So, okay, now the piano fits you because the short hair. Like with the long hair, the guitar fits you.
Okay.
It was just like a look.
Okay.
Because it was funny. That's like the all my memories like of seeing you around campus. You had a guitar in your hand, and I don't know why. Because now it's just like, okay, you clearly don't play guitar.
Was never there.
It was never there. But anybody I talk,
memory.
and I've like talked about you to other people like in the past. I'm like, yo, I always remember there was this guy from Gutman with a guitar, long hair, looking like a hippie, just fucking around with a guitar.
I definitely was a hippie.
Yeah, are you a hippie now?
Hippie. Huh? I mean, no, but I have hippie tendencies.
Okay, can we talk about like what makes a hippie?
Okay, let's talk about it. All right, so I think it's a dynamic of mental disruption of mass information and not necessarily knowing the direction to take on it.
Okay, that's deep.
Psychedelics.
Yes, a lot of psychedelics.
Probably weed, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Weed, nah, not even probably weed.
Weed, yeah.
Love this shit though. And just being nomadic.
Okay. Oh, so like on the move, but that's like old hippie.
No, but I'm saying that's what it was for me.
That's what it represented for you. Okay.
But in that aspect of time, or in my aspect of time, like I feel like the general hippie isn't necessarily like the color dye and all this stuff,
right?
But more of a mental view,
right? Okay.
But I'm not sure if the hippie is. I don't know. I think about a lot of different ways of living, right? Because you want money.
Right.
You want to be able to provide.
Right.
You want to be able to travel. You want to be able to experience more culture.
Right, definitely.
All that takes money.
Right. But
not all the people that obtain that in the way that you would love and see it in the image.
Yeah.
Is not necessarily the best.
No, I understand what you mean. Like because I always call myself like a hippie or a hipster. I don't know if hipster is like a sect of being a hippie, probably, or probably not. A subset, thank you, of being a hippie.
Nah, I don't even know. I'm talking shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So hipsters, don't come for me, please. But like I call myself a hippie only because of like the mentality. Like I don't find like I'm not really connected to like monetary values. Like I understand you need money to live. I understand like it's important to budget, to like create like a future for yourself with money. But in terms of like the here and now, like I'm the type of person like if you need it and if I have it, I'll give it to you. That's fine. As long as I know that like there's food in the fridge and I'm able to like get certain things for my son like throughout like this 2-week time period until I get paid again, I'm fine. Like I've had times where I've walked around with like $5 in my pocket, legit, and I'm like, I'm cooling. It's fine. I'm good. Like I can go home and cook. My son's fine. He's healthy. That's like the main thing for me, that he's healthy mentally, emotionally, all that. And for me, for myself, and then like whatever along the way is just gonna come how it comes. So like when I see people, especially like the coworkers that I work with now, and they're just like, oh, I gotta like work overtime. I gotta get this money, picking up more days, and I'm just like, no, you literally need to sit down and relax and rest. Like money is gonna come. They're printing bills.
See, that's
every
what
day.
that's what my girl tells me a lot too, and I gotta listen, and it's hard to listen because you're just so much in the motion of things. Like my schedule is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like
From like work, just like
work, this, and all my other
everything.
pursuits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and also just responsibilities.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna say having a dog is like having a kid. It's not. But like just it's not. But there are certain things it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's
but
a couple of notch.
certain,
It's close. I will say it's close.
I don't even think it's close.
So
close.
like monetary or emotionally, or providing for.
No, there's gonna be monetary. There's gonna be emotion. There's gonna be providing for. That's for sure. But I just don't. I think having a kid is a whole different project.
Yeah.
it's a whole. You know what I mean? First of all, that living thing is gonna talk back.
Yeah, like, very much so.
I can be like, sit.
And it's just, she sits. There you go. That's it. I say sit. It's like, no, I didn't say run. I didn't say zoom. I said sit.
I think about it differently.
Right, yeah, no, literally, it's just like, I feel like kids, like, you say sit, and in their mind, it's just like,
go.
The more you say sit, it's like, so run faster and scream on top of that. I got you. And then.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off. I just, the question came to mind. What would be the most fruitful lesson that you could share to the audience that you've learned from being a mother? Yeah.
The most fruitful? You don't know shit about yourself until you have a kid. Like, yeah, like, I feel like, and you can definitely learn about yourself if you don't have kids. So it's not like kids are going to teach you all about yourself, but there's certain, like, things that you carry with you that you're not aware of until you have a kid. Because now you have like a little person that you kind of have to like you think you're doing fine in life until you have a kid, and you're just like, oh shit, like there's some things I gotta work on. I gotta get my shit together, like a lot. So money is one thing, because you should always be like at least a good 25% financially ready to take care of a kid, and then it should grow as like they get older and you get older as well.
That's real.
But in terms of like mentally and emotionally, like you really see like the setbacks or the traumas, if you want to speak about it, that you carried as a child when you have a kid. So it's like you learn that the ways you grew up, if it works for your dynamic in raising that child, and then you kind of learn about all the things that you carried with you that you wasn't thinking about, because
that didn't work.
Like, because when you're dealing with adults, it's easy to like write them off when they're being like assholes.
You the first child?
I'm the last child. Like, I'm the last of 12. So
they had a lot of experience to get to you.
No, because I didn't grow up with any of my brothers and. Oh, you mean my parents? Yeah, they had a lot of experience, I'm sure. Because they grew up in Ethiopia. Life was different back then. You know, it wasn't as like.
That's right. You were born in Ethiopia.
I was born in Ethiopia. Yeah. I left when I was like 1-ish, I want to say. And then I lived in England until I was like 2. And then I moved to America.
You were with the...
I'm foreign. I've been traveling. I was with the England mates, you know. I'm actually working. Well, I can't do it now. On my British accent, but it's neat. It's pretty neat. It's there. It's neat. But, so I'm pretty sure they had a lot of experience when they, like, as they got to me. But they're carrying, like, whatever they're carrying as well.
Right. And so on.
And I think that like mental health and like really looking into trauma and like childhood experience hasn't really been a big thing until like the past 10 years, probably, I want to say. So a lot of like the knowledge that we have now, our parents didn't know about. And then you have some parents that like they don't want to learn about, you know, these kind of things. They kind of just want to stay in their old ways. So my parents are not like that, thank God. But you have parents that are. So like having my son really like put in perspective where I was mentally and where I needed to be mentally. And emotionally as well. And
you were saying that there were certain things that you took from your childhood that you would say you passed on.
Yeah.
What were some of those things?
From my childhood. To my child that I passed on to my child? Yelling. to be honest. Like when shit isn't going right, and then you're just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna start screaming at the top of my lungs because like you're not getting it when I'm speaking to you in a normal tone.
Why is that the thing?
For
right?
parents, I think it's just because like it's a loss of control. Like I never understood it with my mom, and my mom didn't yell like quite a lot, but it stuck with me the times that she did yell.
Right.
But like it was kind of like because I know as
a check.
parents, yeah, it's a check. Like it's to put your child in check, but it doesn't really
get there?
work. It doesn't need to get there.
Yeah, but it's weird because people, right? Human nature. Let's not be fake about it. It's like sometimes you tell someone in a regular, chill way, and they just walk all over that chill way. They're
Yeah.
just like, bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck all the way through,
Like,
right?
You know what I mean? And then you say it with like a little bit more.
Yes.
And they're like,
Oh shit.
let me sit down.
But you know
Let me,
why?
like-
It's because they probably like learned that as a kid too, to respond to that type of way.
Yeah.
It's like literally a pattern. Like if you don't break the pattern, it just continues and continues. So
frustrating.
it's frustrating, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I had to learn. Yelling doesn't work. Kids
So what do you do?
talk extensively.
Really?
Yeah, like patience is something that I just started grasping within like the last year and a half with him. And when I say like effectively, the past like 2 months. So like I'm being very transparent here. And I wouldn't call myself like a bad mom because I don't think so, but I know that like there were things that I did that hurt my child emotionally that in my eyes I was just like, well, I'm just trying to discipline you.
Right.
I'm just trying to, train you so you can be functional in the society. But then it's just like, no, like the things that you think that you're training him to be functional, that just might harm him. So when he grows up, he's not going to be as functional as you thought of a job you was doing. So yeah, patience. Like I toned the yelling down, and my voice is naturally loud anyway, so I have to like make the distinction between like, okay, this is my normal tone versus like I can hear myself. Like before I couldn't hear myself going up, but I could tell when I got there. Now I can hear myself going up, and I'm just like, all right, check yourself, Zoey. Like walk away. Walking away is fine. Like some people it's just like, how can you walk away from your kid? Literally turn around and walk away. Like they're in the same house. They'll be fine. You're not abandoning them, but you're removing yourself from the situation. And then you teach them as well that like it's okay to walk away. I think like there's certain practices that parents are like, no, that's not good, that's not respectful. But it's like, no, it's healthy. So I'll tell my child, like I tell my son, you can walk away. It's how you do it. So they don't yell at me and tell me you're walking away. They're like, Mom, I need a moment, and just walk away. That's fine because I'm gonna walk away as well. And then we can come back at a certain point and be like, so you want to talk now? You're ready? Like I'm ready. You're ready to talk? And it usually
works.
It works, yeah, for the most part.
Sheesh. All right, so what is something that you see in your son that is notable? Like, and what I mean by that is like, every person is different, right, in their own way.
Yeah.
What do you see in him that's different?
That's different from me. He's very social. Like he's really, really social. Like he'll go, people gravitate towards him really well. So like when I pick him up from school and I watch him in this schoolyard, he goes there first. Like he has this group of friends that he normally chills with or hangs with, but then you'll just see like a group of people, just the crowd, just start to hang around him, and he's in the center. He's a leader. So, and I'm more like reserved. I'm more like, I don't want to call myself like anti-show. I'll say introvert. I'm more of an introvert than he is, but he's an extrovert, but it comes out in different ways. So it's weird because like I'm an introvert, but I've trained myself to like be very up, like energy wise in front of people. Him now, like he's quiet, but I think it's his energy that speaks for itself, that like gravitates people to him. And then he's like, very outspoken. He's gonna tell you what he's thinking, and you're gonna have to take it how you take it. I'm like, I try to like, give people the benefit of the doubt. He calls it like it is, and he's very like, he knows how to discern people's energy very well. And I noticed that from a baby, like since he was a baby, because there's some people he wouldn't fuck with at all. Like they're like, oh, come here, and he's just looking at them like, hey, you stay over there. Yeah, I'm not fucking with you. But then like, and I would be like, no, Adrian, come on, you gotta talk to people. And then like, if I've been around those same people for a number of years, I would start to see their characteristics, and I'm looking at him like, how the fuck did you call that from younger?
Right.
Like, okay.
It's almost like, I don't know, again, maybe I shouldn't bring this up, but it's like my dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my dog, we senses shit. I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, but you listen to your dog. It's just like, if she's not going next to someone, okay, I'm not going to go next to you.
I went to the Spectrum store today, and I went with my dog, And like she was chill the whole time. There was no problem at all. Like she was saying what's up to everybody, like doing her little wiggles,
Yeah.
like showing her belly. And then this lady walked in, and then she got all tense. And I was like, well, chill, you know, because I'm like, don't cause a scene,
right?
Like, you know what I mean? And then she went to speak to the other like
representative,
right? And at that moment, I started hearing like how she was talking to the representative.
Yeah.
And she, like, I don't think she was. I don't know. She was just like being a little rude and just being like, persistent or insistent. And the representative was just trying to tell her like what the situation was.
Right.
And I was like, like.
You peeped it.
Yeah,
she peeped it.
Like some shit.
I feel
There's
like
some shit.
I feel like just like dogs have like their sixth sense. I feel like kids, cause like I know the world is like advanced now and they learn like at a faster rate than we did. But I feel like there's like still an innocence in them that they can pick up on certain things when shit is not right. And then like here's another thing. Parents are always like, be respectful, say hi. Like you have to say hi to this person. No, like if your child doesn't want to say hi to someone, leave them alone. Like, you know, or if they don't want to hug someone, leave them alone. There's a reason why. So like I had to learn that. And it was my brother that told me that. He was like, listen, if he doesn't want to hug a person, let him be. Like he knows why. You know, he doesn't want to hug that person. And I started tuning into that. So it's just like usually people that he's just like, oh, mom, you know, I don't really fuck with them. Like he won't say it obviously because he's 7, but you know, he says it in his kid way. And I'm just like, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna listen to you, you know. And they prove themselves. They always prove themselves. So
let's get back into like, okay, I understand you always had that
passion to help people.
To help people. But what made the decision to become a case manager come into play, and when did it come into play for you?
Okay, I'm gonna be very honest. Money. The pay raise was better, cause like I started off like I did a whole bunch of internships, and then I hit a couple jobs in terms of like it's still in the social services field, but I was like a what was it called? I used to work in a justice center for youth, but that didn't work out for me. One, because like at the time, I don't think I was like mature enough, because I was close around the age, so I don't think I was mature enough to work with like my same population, because I didn't see them in like, and I don't want to say their true nature, because like your criminal history doesn't make you who you are, but it's an aspect about you, right? And so I wouldn't see that. I would just see like, oh, they're kids, they're, you know, whatever. So that didn't work out. I worked in like a what do you call it? Like it's not a senior center. It's a geriatric. That's fucked up to say. It's like a rehabilitation home. And they were cool, but they were grumpy, like extremely grumpy. And I was just like, I don't want to work with this population either. And then I started working with adults with mental health issues. And I was like, okay, this is the cool population. Because like you're either from like 25 to like older. So there's a little bit of an age gap. And then, you know, like mental health was like my strongest point. That's like what I really, really wanted to hone in on, because I was always fascinated about how like the mind works. How does mental health issues like come about? What do people go through? And then I started working in a substance use home, still touching on a little bit of mental health, but not so much. And then lands me to where I am now, which is like I was a youth counselor first. So like it's a LGBTQ shelter, the Ali Forney Center. And I usually don't talk about my job or like put their name out there, but I will put their name out there for this time, because like majority of the experience that I learned in my career started when I hit like this job.
Wow.
So youth counselor, I was youth counselor first, and it was cool, and I got along well with like the clients that I was working with. And then it made me see like a whole side of like the whole LGBTQ movement and community in general. So like I know they get a bad rep for their lifestyle and just for like generally how they are. But then I saw a different side. Like, no, these are homeless people. Like at the end of the day, like remove what they do behind closed doors, remove like what they choose to associate themselves with. Like they're displaced and they're suffering and they don't have anywhere to go. So like imagine, you know, waking up in a place with like 20 different people and you're sharing that space. So like you have your individuality, but at the end of the day, you're still in a group, a collective group. So it's kind of like your individuality gets mushed down a little bit. And then they offered like a case manager position was open. So I saw the pay and I was like, okay, that looks good. Because at the same time, I was just starting to move. into my own place. So I was like, okay, that can help me financially. But then also I was like, well, now this is what a lot of my training in college gears towards. So I was like, okay, now I can be applying what I learned in school to this job. So I went for it, and they loved me during the interview. Like, they was like, oh, people were vouching for you. And I didn't even know that because, like I said, I don't really talk to a lot of people. So I'm just like, oh, people are vouching for me? That's cool. So I got the position, and ever since I've gotten it, like, it's been a whirlwind of experience. Like, it has. Just changing. Like, I'm very raw with my language. You can't be raw with your language in this field. It's very, like, strength-based.
Proper etiquette?
Very proper etiquette, which I'm still not, where I should be. I've grown, but I'm still not where I should be. But it's a lot of etiquette. Like, you can't tell someone they're fucking up. There has to be like a strength burst. Like, you're struggling. You're experiencing difficulty. Me, I'm just like, you're fucking up. Get your shit together. This is what you need to do. But you can't do that. It has to be like more encouraging. What do you need help with? Like, how can I be here for you? You know?
Do you think that that works better than being?
No. Straight up? No,
Yeah.
I don't think it works better. Because I think there's like a huge gray area for babying and coddling to come into play. So I understand strength-based in terms of like, you have to be delicate with them because they face certain traumas in their life. But on the flip side of that, it's like everybody's faced trauma in their life. And you have to understand that, like, once you leave this organization, once you leave this program, you're dealing with the real world. The real world doesn't care about what you've been through. They just need to know that you can function, do your job, and get by.
Right.
So that's the part I struggle with still, because it's a lot of gray areas for coddling, and it's a lot of gray areas for them to get like attached to the point where they expect you to have control over like their whole outlook.
What's the wildest like prospect, client
That I've had?
That you've had?
I've had clients who have like overdosed, like in front of me, where I've had
And
to
died?
like, no. I think if they would have died, I would have like severely left. Cause I just like, that's one thing I can't handle. Like, me trying to help and then you just pass on. Like, I think that would have been very traumatic for me. But no, I've had clients that's like OD'd in front of me. I've had clients that's like threatened to burn down the building, that's actually started fires, in the program. I've had clients that's like cursed me out for filth in ways that I didn't even think I could be cursed out by another human being. So it's a lot. I can't just tunnel it to one client. Like, the clients are wild. Let me just put it like that. You get like anywhere from like a functional client that I guess their only trauma is that they're displaced, to the clients that they've been through some shit before they've hit like your program, and they're traumatized and they have trust issues and they're combative and all that. But still, you have to look at them like, well, yes, you've been traumatized, so I'm trying to support you. But then also, like, I can't let you think that people are going to care about your trauma. There's people that will care, don't get me wrong. But the majority, like I said, it's all about, can you function and can you do your job? Everyone's been through trauma. Everyone's been through shit. But if we all, like, just relied on that, we all would be fucked up. None of us would be able to function. I wouldn't be in my job. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be in your job. No one would be able to function in society. So it's weird because I have to find a balance between, like, how to get you to where you need to be supportively, but also how to be stern. Like, I'm not trying to be your parent, because I work with like 21 to 24, so technically they're considered adults, right? So it's just like, I have to support you, but then also, how do I tell you, like, stop your fuck shit and get on your shit, so you don't come back to us.
Any great recovery stories?
Yeah, like, I've had a lot of clients who they've moved on. They haven't come back to the program. They've gotten jobs. They've gotten their own places.
Nice.
Like, they'll update me every couple of months or so, like, hey, this is what I'm doing.
That's what's up.
Or if I go to like the main office, I still see them. So it's nice. Like, that's what keeps me going, knowing that like 2 out of 10 is going to make it. Realistically, like 2 out of 10 is going to be okay.
Wow.
So,
it is all about the numbers.
It's all about the numbers. I like to be very realistic in like my life, career-wise.
Do you now like see at this point from the beginning who might and who might not?
Yeah.
What characteristics do they display?
Victim mentality. That's usually the biggest
ones that
thing.
don't.
The ones that don't.
Right.
It's a victim mentality. But like I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt. So like even if I see it in the beginning, like my thought process is like, okay, so by the end, even though maybe there's like a 50% chance, there's also that other 50 that you can also like come out of that. I think it's at a certain point in the program though that I'm just like, okay, no.
But and like, okay, you say that if you saw, someone actually die, that you would probably leave the job. But like, still, I'm sure you still have faced a lot of emotional turbulence, if you will, probably
Yeah.
just by like having that job. So how do you maintain that? Like, how do you
Like self-care and coping. I don't know. I'm still trying to find that out, honestly. Because, like, I've had, like, my supervisors and directors tell me, like, they've had to tell me, like, Zoe, go home. Like, you're burnt out. And I'm just like, no, I got this. I can finish my work. They're like, no, go home. So I still haven't found that balance of, like, how do I cope? How do I, like, practice, like, effective self-care? I mean, one thing I will say, I'm in therapy. So, like, I have my weekly sessions where I lay it out on my therapist. And I'm like, I know this is not even about me. Because some weeks I'll just straight talk about, like, my work. And that's my form of self-care. So like I'm passing it on to someone. Like she's trained to take all that. So you take my burdens. I'm gonna pass it along to you, and then that kind of like balances me out.
What's something that you because I hear different people, they go through therapy and they get some treasures, some gems. So what would be some gems
that I've picked up in therapy? Stop telling people you're crazy. Like that's like I used to tell people like I'm crazy. Like the first thing I would meet, like when I would meet someone, I'm just like, hey, I'm Zoe. Like just to let you know I'm crazy, so don't test me. And my therapist is like, why would you tell people you're crazy? And I'm like, because I like to be honest. Like like if I'm gonna start a friendship with you or like a relationship with you, like I really want you to know the full scope of what you're getting yourself into. Not to scare you off, but that you can have like that choice knowledge from the beginning. If you want to proceed or not. Because, like, if we get to a certain point...
But why crazy, Zoe?
Why crazy? Because I don't know, like, a better word.
Nah, I think you should choose a different word. Because, like, crazy could be looked at in so many different, like, ways, right?
Right.
Like, there could be crazy good, too. You know what I mean? Like, but the thing is that, like, when you say crazy, it's just like a
negative
instant, exactly. And it's also what you put on yourself.
Right.
Right? The words are so powerful. So
yes.
I even catch myself trying not to say certain things. Like when you mess up, oh, I'm so dumb. Like, whoa.
Relax.
Yeah.
Relax, though.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So, like, I think when I first started, because I don't say it now, like, so I took that job. And this was like, this is not my current therapist that told me that's like, this is probably like 2 therapists back. And it took me a while. Because I feel like, the more you say something to your brain, like it's muscle memory, it imprints. So that's the first thing it's gonna bounce to. And I realize that now, like words are powerful and your brain can differentiate a joke or not. So whatever you tell it, it's running with. But like for a while, like I didn't see like the value in myself. So when I told people I was crazy, that's just, I was telling you the truth. Like that's how I looked at as myself. But as I started to find my worth, and thank God I did, and value, I was just like, oh no, Zoe, you're not crazy. Like you can use other words, like I'm an intense person, but intensity doesn't have to be bad. It's just that like I put 150% in whatever I'm doing or whatever I'm feeling. So like I'll tell, and I won't even tell people that now. I think I just let people like meet me and grow with me organically and let like you get the perception of me. So like I have like the core knowledge of who I am. And then if it like if what you think of me aligns with that, then we're cool. And then if it doesn't, then I guess we're not cool.
You're emotionally aware.
I'm very emotionally aware now. Yeah, like it's a good thing to be living in like numbness and like emotionally unawareness is horrible because you're not feeling anything, so you're kind of just going through life, and it's fine, I guess, because like not many things are bouncing off of you, but you don't get experience, you don't get like the feedback, and you need like the external feedback. You know, you do. Yeah.
That's also a check.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
checkpoint for yourself. Like, what's going on in my internal environment? What am I feeling internally? How are the two relating? Is it congruent to like reality? Like, my therapist would always tell me, like, your feelings are valid regardless, but are they factual? So, like, valid and factual is two very different things.
True.
So, I'm never going to take away from how you feel because that's your experience, but is it rooted in reality? You know, so like, you can tell me you're Superman, and if you tell me you're Superman, I'm not going to argue with you. Like, that's fine. You know, if you like, I'll buy you a cape. Honestly, if you tell me you're Superman, let me buy you a cape. Let me like, you know, like play towards your reality. However, like when trouble comes calling now,
are you gonna swing by?
are you gonna? Am I gonna see you flying? Like,
are
you gonna be out there? Are you able to lift a 10-pound? Well, not even 10-pound car. Are you able to lift a car?
Yeah, a car.
You know, are you able to do the things that Superman can do? So like, you know, validate someone's feelings is important. Like, I don't ever like telling people they're wrong in how they feel. But then let's check it with what's actually going on around.
Right.
So I think like...
And that could help, I feel like that's the distinction between two people at that point where one would rather face the reality and grow from it or hide away from it and just pretend that...
Well, I will say ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss. Like, you don't, if you're not aware of shit, then you moving and you're cruising.
But you're so right about that. You know, like, I've mentioned this before on many podcasts, and I'm not going to say the whole story again, but I've had this experience where I was meditating, and I had a OBE, which is an out-of-body experience, and then when I came out of that, I, for some reason, was looking at this tree, like this tree was calling out to me, and all over this tree was two eyes closed and one eye open.
Hello.
But the crazier part about that is...
I've heard about that before.
The crazier part about it is the two eyes closed look mad peaceful, right?
Yeah.
But then when you look closer to the eye, what does that look like?
Like it's, well, to me it looks like it's crying.
Where
a
you
little
see the
bit.
two eyes and the mouth open, like,
Yes, like it's screaming. Oh my God, yes, I do. Oh, that's crazy. Wow.
Yo, right? So what does that tell you?
Top picture is like
bliss.
You don't know anything.
I don't know anything. I'm chilling.
Legit.
But then it's like the more you know, do you really want to know?
But you know, okay, so I feel like, cause like I've dabbled in like psychedelics like shrooms and LSD.
Okay.
And I feel like that's where I've gotten a lot of like mental help as well. So like you have talk therapy and then like medicinal therapy. And I feel like a lot of my insights have kind of come from like medicinal therapy, like when I've been on like my trip, so to speak.
Right.
And I haven't seen like particularly like any crazy shit. Like I've heard some stories where I'm just like, where were you that all this shit was happening? But it sounds cool.
Right.
But like it's more like internal. Like I have a lot of internal insights and revelations and shit like that. And it is maddening because like when you come out of that trip, and then now your body has to process everything that went on. Like the revelations that you get is like, oh shit, this world is crazy. Like shit is upside down. But I'd rather know. Like I'd rather know that I'm in an upside down world. Right? Than like I think of Stranger Things. Like we're not living above. We're not living in Hawkins, regular Hawkins. We're living in the upside down. But I'd rather know that. So I know how to move. And I know like I can look at people now and really see things for what they are. Like I was telling my sister the other day, like when they say like the light in people's eyes, that shit is real. Like you can look at someone and see if there's a light in their eyes or not. So like when I'm walking on the streets now, like eye contact, I'm looking. I don't care if we're passing each other, and I'm looking for that light.
Isn't it so interesting? I mean, some people when I was younger, right? And I was only when I was younger. When I got older, I found that some people didn't mind it, some people do whatever. But they're like, you're looking at me like you're looking into my soul. I'm like, I am.
Hello. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. First of all, I'm looking to see if there is a soul. I can work with you if you have a soul. I can't work with you if I don't see anything because it's just like I don't know what you're capable of doing. I can't even like not that I can read thoughts, but I can't even read. Like I'm very like I can read energy. I can see people's energy. Like when people are sad, I see like this dark kind of like
Cloud.
forecasting. Not really like a cloud, but it's kind of like a shadow over them. When people are happy, like they radiate colors.
Yeah.
You know, and like even if you can't see it, you can feel it.
It's true.
So it's just like I'd rather know, like, yeah, I'm looking into your soul. So be happy that I'm seeing your soul.
Right.
You know, like be worried if I didn't see anything.
Right.
So I'm thankful to like LSD and shrooms for that. I'll tell people like go take some shrooms.
Yeah.
Go do an acid trip.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and really like be okay with the process.
Right. That is a really good indication. Being okay with the process, right? Because when you're experiencing it and you're trying to pull away from it or not be okay is when it gets worse, right? But then when you just let go,
Let it happen, yeah.
and just enjoy,
Yeah.
you have a really good experience overall.
Like if you see yourself falling, fall.
Mm-hmm.
No, honestly, like it's scary because you're just like, you know that you're tripping. You're aware that you're tripping.
Yeah.
So you know, like physically, you're laying on the ground, but whatever's going on in your mind, you're falling. Like let yourself fall. You don't know what's at the end of that hole. You probably need to go there and figure some shit out.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's
And
just
it's always scary.
It's always scary.
Yeah, even you saying this shit is getting me a little bit, because it brings back the flashback of it, but it's so true. Like, you go through it and you conquer it, and then you're like, oh snap. It's almost like you're learning things again through a different lens.
Yeah.
You know?
Like my brother has experienced like ego death. I've never experienced ego death, but like the person that I saw afterwards from that ego death is like, oh, I like this. Like I can imagine going through ego death is scary because what he's told me, but just seeing like the result afterward is like, okay, so maybe it's not so bad. You got to work through the process. I don't know how much shrooms or LSD you have to take to get there.
It's a slippery slope, I feel. Because I've come across people that went too far down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, I don't know.
But there's always too much to everything as well.
And everything is not for everybody either.
Right. No, okay, that's true. That's true.
Not someone who's, you're looking at like, she's schizophrenic or something. Like, are you going to give her psychedelics?
Probably not.
Why?
But she's already living in her
I mean?
own psychedelic world, if you think about it.
Or who am I to even say that? Because who knows if that, you know what I mean?
Right, no, I understand.
But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe there's particular people that could come across these things and like it would be okay, but I understand and respect others who just decide not to do it and don't want to do it, and it's like, all right.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think like you have to respect people's choices, like even if it doesn't really make sense to you, like you're not that person, so.
Yeah, because why does it call out to you?
Right.
Have you ever thought about that?
Why? Yeah.
Because there's many things that you could try.
Right.
But you're like, not
this.
Not
but
that.
this.
But this,
I'm good with. I think like because it's weird. Like I come from like a faith background, and I still hold my faith to me like very. And I think in the past couple of months, like more stronger than in my past. But I'm learning to find like a balance between certain things. So like I'll read the Bible faithfully, but also if you're offering me like shrooms, yeah, I'm gonna take some shrooms. Let's go. I feel like for some people they can't do that. If they're like raised a certain way, or if they have like a certain belief, it's just like, no, I'm not dabbling in things like that. Because I know many people like Christians or whoever, they'll be like, why are you taking shrooms? That's wrong. But then it's just like, why not? Like you just have to know your limit. I feel like there's always a limit with things. So even with like psychedelics, there's a limit. And you can tell when like you take a substance and when it's not for you anymore. So like with weed, for instance, like I was telling you earlier, like I have my weed pen, the oil. Where is it? Let me dig it out my pocket. Boom. Boom. She goes with me everywhere. You see?
It's like honey.
Honey. Actually, yeah. And
it's California honey.
You see what I'm saying?
It's Zaza.
Hello. It's lasted long because I know my limit with it now.
That is like dessert to me. I'm not gonna lie, because I smoke weed, but like whenever I try something like that or like dabs, I'm just like, whoa, I can't have this all the time.
All the time, right? And see, that's the thing with dry. Like I can't have dry all the time. So like, it's a very social thing, and I have to be in like a position where I don't have work.
You
I
don't have
know
other things to do.
I don't have anything to do.
Right.
Like I know like my son is taken care of. I'm not at work. I don't even have like people to chill with.
Right. That goes for shrooms too, though. Right. Because
Right.
you got shit to do.
Exactly. And like the come down from shrooms is like you're fucking tired.
Yeah.
Like your body's just like you need to give me a day, you know, to relax. So I know my limit with things now. Like I haven't taken shrooms probably like within close to a year. I haven't taken LSDs.
Which is good too when it's like spread out after a long period of time, and it's just like whoa.
Because I know people that do it like all the time, and I'm like, how is your body? Are you okay?
Well, that's the thing too. It's like anything else, you know, you build a tolerance.
Yeah.
So then, does it become enjoyable? How
Right.
much do you need for you to enjoy?
No,
it? You know what I mean?
legit.
Like it's better that you space it out.
Yeah, like
So
I know there's some people, because I know weed is, no, not weed, shrooms and LSD is not technically like addictive, but your body does build up a tolerance. Like I think anything that you give your body for too long is going to build a tolerance to it.
True.
So that like experience, that trip, so to speak, that you're looking for, you're not getting it. Your body's like, I've had too much of this. You need to like let me detox from it, start again, and then, you know, I can get you to where you want to go.
Exactly.
But it's all, you know, I think that comes with like experience. You have to go through things sometimes to learn where your tolerance is at too. So like it goes back to like the ignorance is bliss. Like if you don't know, you kind of have to experience, and that's why experience is good. Like I used to think living in ignorance was fine, because that way, in some ways, you don't get hurt as much, I guess, depending on what it is. But in other ways, it's just like, you never know if you don't try.
It's true.
You don't have to stay with it, but at least give yourself that first experience to even know, like, is this for me? Am I comfortable with this? Am I okay with this? You know,
right.
Things of that
Because if you don't try, you'll literally never know.
No.
What we're talking about right now is how I didn't sell Esperanza.
She has a name?
I call her Esperanza.
Nice.
Because Esperanza is hope in Spanish.
Oh, I like that. Okay, Esperanza.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like someone offered me, I forgot if it was like $10,000 or $15,000 for it, and this was before I even painted it. This was before.
Oh, you painted this?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
Spray paint? I mean,
yeah, spray paint.
Spray paint.
Yeah, spray
Nice.
paint. And yo, I was like, fuck, I should have took the money, but at the same time, I didn't want to sell it because I feel like later on it could be sold maybe for even more. But I don't know, I had like a little sentimental value to it, you know?
So like I saw when you posted on Instagram of like you taking something into the train. Was this?
That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This doesn't even look like it can fit in the train. That's the funny thing.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Made it happen.
Made it happen. That's right. Okay. Welcome to New York. There you go.
Yo, so I got this part in the podcast that I'm doing now where I asked the guests, is there any question that you would like for me to ask to somebody that either if I know them or out in the public or whatever, like that you could come, you know, in your mind that you maybe wouldn't necessarily ask that specific person, but you're like, you know, since you're not asking, I'm asking.
Let me see. Well, it depends who the person would be.
Have you ever, like, you know what I mean? Like a specific culture, gender, group, or whatever?
Think. Let me see. I think I would, it's not like a specific, I think it's like, I think this question may be geared to like the upper class, or not, I can't say the upper class. I just want to know like,
From rich people?
we can say it from rich people.
Can we just say that?
And rich people? Okay.
Right, yeah.
I just want to know, like, why is it such, like, difficult? No, boom, gentrification. Why? That's the whole question. For, like, I understand if you're trying to improve a neighborhood. I just want to know, why do you improve the neighborhood to the point where like the original people who grew up in that neighborhood, made the culture of the neighborhood, can't stay in that neighborhood. You know, like don't tell me it's a safety thing, because I don't feel like it's a safety thing. I think it boils down to race. Like you just want to own like a section of that neighborhood. But I think my question would just be like, why? Really, why are you pushing people out of their neighborhoods? And where are we supposed to go? That's my next question. You know, like, and I don't want to, pinpoint it to a specific race, because like I know usually gentrification, the whole frame thought is like it's like Black or Spanish people trying to get out the neighborhood, but I don't think it's just that. I think like it's just mixed, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a common group of white people. Sorry, just saying. Just wants to like push everybody, it doesn't matter of the race, out that neighborhood to claim it as their own. So it's just like, you can't like own people anymore. So you went to like owning dogs or animals, and now you just want to own neighborhoods. That's my whole thought. That's really fucked up, but that's my thought.
So to frame the question, the question
is no, it's a statement. Like, give us our neighborhoods back. Does it have to be a question? It has to be a question. Yeah. Why can't we stay? Why can't we stay? Like, how do you make a neighborhood better or safer? I guess because that's their whole selling point. Why can you make a neighborhood, like, how can you make a neighborhood better and keep the original people in that neighborhood?
I'm gonna ask that right now.
Yeah.
So how can we make a neighborhood better without taking away the people that are originally from there?
Yeah, it's a tricky question, right? I mean, on the same block, you see a house, a family's been there for 50, 60 years, and then 100 feet away, you see some high rise with rents $3,000, $4,000. I think zoning laws mandating a minimum number of rent-adjusted apartments is a very good start. I think maybe some sort of tax break for families, lower middle income families who kind of commit to living in the same residence for, pick it, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I think they're good starts, but questions for the city council.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Why? I'm looking in the camera.
What do you think the answer, what do you think someone's gonna say?
Race. I think it boils down to, yeah.
No, but that you think that's what they're gonna say?
Oh no.
That's what I'm saying. What do you think they're
What do
gonna
you
say?
think their answer? What do I think their answer would be? Probably.
If they even give me an answer.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think you're getting an answer. I don't think.
A difficult
answer. Well, let me try to. Okay, what would be a difficult answer? That's a hard question, because I'm trying to think of like an answer that I could. I mean, okay, let me play devil's advocate, right? I'm trying to play devil's advocate and think of an answer that would make sense, I guess, to me, or I could understand why. But an answer doesn't come to mind, to be honest. Because, like, they could either chalk it up to, like, okay, like, we just want, like, the better development of the community. But then it's just, like, to rebuttal that, it's just, like, but the betterment of the community is only everyone who looks like you is only for your betterment. It's just like, damn, I'm stuck. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's cool. It's a tough question.
It's a tough question.
I hope I get someone to answer it.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens.
And bring me back when you find that person, so I can look at them like, okay, I'm not the one that asked the question, so I want to know the answer.
Well, it's going to be clipped, it's going to be edited, and that's funny as hell. So, all right, what would be your dream situation in life? Like, what would you really want? What have you seen besides, I understand you have a good understanding of traveling and your culture, and you have that experience, and I'm sure you want to enrich yourself more in that, but like, is there anything else in life that you aspire to have or want to be?
Inspire to have, I think, would just be like the freedom to like get up and go when I need to. So I think it ties to like monetary. Like I aspire to have like a comfortable amount of money, right? To go somewhere like very.
What's a comfortable amount of money though?
That's a good question.
Right?
So if we're putting like an amount on it, I can't really say.
We were talking about it before. In New York, it feels like
if you're not a millionaire.
So if you're a millionaire, you having a great time in New York.
Because
if
know
you're
what
a billionaire,
I want.
you can do whatever the fuck you want.
I want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want, but like I don't think I want to reach billionaire status. Like millionaires is comfortable. I think that's fine, because I see like and I know it comes back to like the core of who a person is. Like they say, like money is the root of all evil, but it's more like the person's core.
Who got that money?
Who got that money? Like who's whatever hand the money is in. That's when you really get to see like the characteristic of a person. So I think, and I'm not really afraid, like the more money I gain, my personality or my characteristic will change. But I don't really want a lot of money either, because I feel like with more money comes more problems, to be honest. So I don't really have like a specific amount, but.
And less time to live your life.
And less time to live your life, yeah. I think that like my ultimate aspirations now at this current age is like I want a house with a farm, with land that I can like grow crops on,
With
have a couple of chickens, cows, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I want that kind of like, and it's not really
I
in
like
like a
that.
rural area,
Yeah.
because I still want to be around people.
Yeah.
I just want to have land and space. You know, I want to be able to like eat what I grow. You know, I want to be able to like breathe fresh air. You know, or just like have the option to go back to a crowded space knowing that like I have something that's like just my own. So if I come back to the city or anywhere I go, like yeah, I'm gonna have to rent for a little bit, but like I want something that's my own. I think that's like my biggest goal in life, to get like a piece of land, a piece of property that's mine.
That's beautiful. Honestly, when I was learning how to breed my dog, you know, and have puppies and stuff, like I did all the research possible before even doing it, right?
Yeah.
And one of the women that I was following on YouTube, she had this life, you know what I mean? Like she, and it's cool because if you look back to her older episodes, you see her end up moving to that. She has her own land.
Yeah,
and
that's beautiful.
And she basically was making videos of how to the whole
Attain that.
process, you know, of like, you know, breeding. And I followed her process, and that's why the puppies came out amazing.
Yeah.
And that's why like all of them are in great homes and they're all healthy.
What made you like decide to breed dogs?
Cause it was just like, my dog is so beautiful, you seen it? So it's like, so I was like, there need to be more of you out there. Like I wanted to, like, I don't know.
I get that.
I don't know.
Because I know breeding usually comes with like a negative connotation as well.
Yeah, which fuck those people, cause like, you know, like it doesn't make sense to me. And I, you know, if I had a breeder on the podcast, shout out Blue Phoenix Bullies. Yo, we were talking about this, like, and this is just trying to understand people in general, right? But do you think a first time dog owner should have some, unfortunately, a dog that wasn't wanted and probably has been through a lot of things, or shouldn't a person who's more well trained in like having dogs have that type of dog, right?
Okay.
And then a person who's a first time dog owner, wouldn't it be like more logical to get it from a breeder as when they're a puppy, when you're supposed to get a dog? So then you're able to train the dog.
I see what you're saying.
And that's not to knock people who adopt dogs.
Right.
But they should be like well trained themselves to even handle dogs, have a history of owning dogs, and like, you know what I mean? To be able to be well equipped.
Right.
For that specific dog.
Okay.
On the contrary to having people who are first-time dog owners,
right,
they should have the experience of having a dog as a puppy from a breeder that is
so like knowledgeable on the background of the dog. And so, okay, I think because of different things that I've like seen growing up, right? My first answer is to be like, no, like adopt, don't shop, you know, like, but you're breaking down of the explanation. I understand it more, right? So like as a first time dog owner, you should know like, especially complete background, right, of that dog, how to properly take care of that dog. So are you talking like purebreds, or can they be a mix? You just breed them correctly?
Well,
or is when you're breeding dogs, is it only pure?
I think that's a great question. And I'm not against people who like have mixed dogs, because there's a lot of mixed dogs if you think about it. I just think that if you have, like, my dog is a purebred dog, is a cane corso, like there's a whole line of dogs that go back to like the Romans of this
Yeah.
dog. You know, they fought with them.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, do I want this dog's legacy to keep on going?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Like, is there something wrong with that? No. Do I think that people that find these cute, honestly, I think they're cute little crossovers
Yeah.
of mutts because they're
Right.
mutts, but they're cute. Like, what's
Yeah.
wrong with that? You know what
So
I
I
mean?
think like
But it could be wrong if they have a lot of
health issues, because that's what I was
yeah.
gonna say. I think the only downside of like mutts is like they have a slew of health issues.
Some, but not all.
Not all, but okay. So like German shepherds, I was like very shocked when I found out like the German shepherds that you see today is not purebred. So like how they sit, like their hind legs are kind of like lower, right? Original German shepherds weren't like that. They stood like straight up, right? But they interbred them a lot, which is kind of like which gives you the
We
German
have to-
shepherd now, exactly. But that comes with a whole bunch of health issues, especially back. Like their back, they have a lot of health issues
Hip
with their.
dysplasia.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of big dogs do. I mean, if you also think about it, it's like, what is a purebred? You know, it's like a dog that they decided, you know,
You
what,
can
we
follow
like
lineage.
this, we like
lineage.
this, yeah, we like this one. Let's
Yeah.
keep this one going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
I feel like
because they all come
purebred.
back to wolves, right? Essentially.
True. Okay, yeah, they do all come back to wolves.
It is crazy when you think about a Chihuahua and then you see a wolf. So it's like how is that?
Because Chihuahuas are not aggressive. I feel like that they took directly from wolves. But yeah, like I think they originally come from wolves, so that's like we know history given, right? But with purebreds, you can trace their lineage. Like you said, you're like with the Cane Corso, that ties strictly what's like back to Rome?
Roman.
Okay, Roman times. That's beautiful. With like German shepherds, I don't know their original. I mean, obviously from Germany,
Right.
I'm guessing, but other than knowing they're from Germany, you don't know anything past that of like where they come from. Or like with Chihuahua, are Chihuahuas purebred?
That's the thing. It's like, what is a purebred if you think about it, right? Because if they all descend from something else, which eventually descended from the wolf,
Right.
what is a purebred? I think it's just a purebred is just a collective group deciding this dog is cute or this dog is
Let's
tough.
keep it going.
Or this, yeah,
Oh,
like
shit.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let's keep it going. Where it's like, there's other ones that are like, nah, that's a mutt.
But why?
And then why they call that one a mutt and now we go with purebred?
Because there's too many involved in that mutt. So like with a mutt, you're never just getting probably like two. I'm talking like DNA wise, I'm guessing. Like if you really like looked at the genetic
The
history.
phenotype.
Yes. Thank you. See, all these names. You're getting like probably like 10 different mixed in with that one puppy.
True.
Purebreds, you're probably getting like 2. And that's just, don't quote me on this, people. I'm just like, this is just my brain following its thought pattern. Because like even with wolves, there's like different types of wolves, right? So I'm thinking purebreds may be linked to like either one of like the subsets of wolves versus like a mutt that's just like, you don't really, like you can tell, obviously dogs originated from wolves, but other past that, you can't differentiate, you can't follow their lineage of like which distinct.
Yeah, but
wolves
if
they
you
came
say to someone who typically knows dogs, can you point out a golden retriever for me?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Right, a pit bull,
Yeah,
a husky.
yeah.
I'm gonna get these are tougher ones. You
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
Rhodesian Ridgeback,
You want to show? Can I look that up?
Turkish Kangal,
No.
Tibetan Mastiff.
Yes. Yeah.
Thai Ridgeback.
No.
Those I want to show you just because it's interesting. They look like alien dogs.
And they're purebred?
I'm gonna clip it in.
Insert picture.
Right. Yes, they are purebred. They look cool. They really do look cool. Like I would have one.
Is Cane Corso the only dog you're gonna breed, or are you looking into like other?
Other dogs?
Yeah.
I love Cane Corsos.
What
I fell in love.
What about a Cane Corso? Like attracted you?
All right, so to be honest, I had her with an ex of mine.
Okay.
And like as she was getting more complicated, like as far as complicated goes, like bigger and just more, disruptive and stuff like that. She didn't want her. She didn't want her anymore, and she was the one that wanted the dog in the first place. And I was like, what the fuck? And I started loving the dog more.
Yeah.
And there was a point where it was like, yo, like, I felt unwanted. You know what I mean? Like, in my life. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, I don't know. There was like a...
connection.
There was like, yeah. And then I really just... I dove deep into the breed, learned everything about it. And they just live up to their name. They live up to their name. Like, they're the sweetest that they can be with their family and just like, oh my God, it's so sweet. But if someone fucking steps wrong, it's like a completely different dog. Like, it's like beast. Like,
right.
Yeah, it's like, oof.
But you know what the funny thing is? Crazy. I feel like pit bulls are like that too. So now why do they get such the bad rep that they get?
Pit bulls?
Yeah. Cause like they're very loyal, they're very family orientated. Oh, okay, so I have seen those dogs a lot.
It's an interesting dog.
That's an interesting dog, yeah. Because it looks...
So any single time you hear, like, Thai Ridgeback, Rhodesian Ridgeback, it's because they have a ridged back.
Oh, literally? Yeah. Oh, wow,
so
that's
like
cool.
the top of their back, like, that hair is just, like, going the opposite way.
That's cool. Rebels, I like that.
It is interesting.
And you know the funny thing? If I would have looked at them, like, in my ignorance of dogs, I would feel like they were mixed.
Yeah. Who would know?
Who would know?
I wouldn't. Once I found out about it, I was like, oh, shit. I saw a couple of them in the city. I was like, oh, what?
Yeah.
That's a Thai Ridgeback?
It's cool when you can name dogs to, like, owners, because a lot of the questions they get are like, it's respect. Because they're like, what is that? And you can see it on their face, like, oh, you don't know about dogs. But when you go like, oh, hey, that's a, and then that's a, they're like, oh, shit. They're more willing to, like...
I don't even care anymore. There was a point where people were like, oh, it's a pit, right? I'm like, yeah.
I would have been like, no, respectfully, don't disrespect my dog. Like that. No disrespect to pits, but this is completely different. But like, bring me back to the question, like, why do they get such a bad rep?
Right.
Pits, like, they have the same characteristics of, well, no, let me not say same characteristics of King Corso, but in terms of, like, they're family dogs, like, they're loving, they're very loyal, but if you mess with them, then it's the other side. Yeah. So is it the thought pattern? Because I know they say with pit bulls, like, it depends on who raises them. They kind of embody the characteristic of that owner. Is it the same for a King Corso?
I guess so. But I think it's also, I don't know, there's like a symbiosis going on, Because, especially for me anyway, because there was just a time that I wasn't with anybody. And then it was just me and her. And, like, my dog, what I mean by me and her, you know what I mean? And, like, I don't know, we learn from each other in a weird way, if that makes any sense. Because you're trying to understand the dog. Every dog is different. Yeah. And she has her own personality. She's super sweet. Yeah. But there's certain things that pisses her off. And those things are kids. She doesn't like kids. No. Too much energy. Yeah. Like, so, like, she's like, what are you doing? Like, like, And then some old men.
It's the some. Old men.
Yeah.
What falls into that category?
Some old men, like.
Like the grumpy ones?
Yeah, but that happened, I understand why. Because there was this one time on Steinway, there was like this old, like, Greek guy who, I guess he was homeless. And... for some reason, he wanted to be like, oh, like this to me. And Tundra, since then, like, hated him. Yeah. Hated him. So any single time she was with him, and my dog be barking like, ooh, and she was like the collar on, so she was like cracking her voice, trying to be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, sounds crazy. And I was like, fuck. But besides that, and then, like, there's some people that she catches a vibe. And but she's great with people in general.
Okay.
Like,
that's good to know. I see, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's all
like,
love.
But cats are the same. And I know people are just like, because I know a lot of people are more...
You have a beautiful cat.
Thank you.
You have a beautiful cat.
Thank you. Shout out to Nigel. I love you.
I'm going to put a picture right here.
Right, yeah, let me send you a picture of my cat. He's, it's funny because how I met him through my homegirl, Kwanda, the one that actually came with me to your event.
Shout out to her, too.
Shout out to Kwanda. Love you.
Kwanda. You're awesome.
There you go. That's my road dog. That's my travel buddy. Anywhere I'm going, she's right with me. But I went, like, I've known her for since like 2018 probably. And the first time I went to her house, he he came out of the room and he jumped up on my lap.
Oh wow.
And she was like, he's never done that to anybody.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, so this is my cat. Clearly.
Clearly.
You know, it just took me a while to get him. But he's like, and I was always under the assumption that like cats are like grouchy and they're just like isolated and they don't really want to fuck with anybody. But he's like a mush ball for attention. And so I started to notice that like cats have their own distinct personalities too.
But cats in particular, right? Because they're not like that with everyone. They're like that to one person.
No, because
right?
with my brother, like he loves my brother. He loves my
right.
son. Like clearly, he's closest to me, obviously. But you know, there's some times where he's not fucking with me. He's fucking with my brother, and I'm just like,
what I do?
what I do to you? I'm doing I got you. What's going on?
Like, I feed you every day.
Feed you
like,
every day. What's
you
going
like that
on?
Kimball, right?
You like the Kimball, right? It's like, okay, because when your bowl is empty, you won't come back to me. It's okay. But I had to realize, like, it's the same with dogs. Cats have their own personalities, and you know, like I thought that like cats and dogs couldn't get along. Like, fuck that. You know, like. He loves pets. I don't know if he'd get along with Tundra.
Nah, Tundra's difficult. All right, it has to be, and I want a cat. I actually want a cat, but it has to be like a baby.
Yeah, so she can grow.
Yeah.
With her. Yeah.
Because like.
Is it like a territory thing? It's
a territory thing, and also I think it has to be a certain sex. I don't think it could be a girl cat. I think it has to be a boy cat.
To kind of balance out.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
It can't be a pussy cat either.
What's a pussy cat?
No, like a little.
Oh, like a little shy?
Little
I was like, is that different? No.
I shouldn't do that.
No, listen, I don't give a fuck. I always thought, because I'm still trying to like find out what my cat is. Like when I got him, that was my question. Like, well, what is he? He's like, I don't know, it's a fucking cat. And I'm just like, yeah, but what kind of cat? So I'm still trying to figure out what he is. And I'll like search up on the internet. Like I'll put in like the description of what he is, and it's just like I don't get shit. So I understand like it has to be a certain kind of personalities with animals are a thing.
Yeah.
As well.
So is there anywhere in the world that you want to go to that you haven't gone?
Belize. Fiji, Bermuda, just keep naming them. France, no, I don't want to go to France.
Right.
Like, yeah, I think France is too expensive and too cliche.
So Nice is nice.
Nice?
Yeah.
Where's that?
It's in the south of France.
Oh, okay.
And it's really, really nice. And you can and it's not so expensive.
Oh.
And like, they're just chill. Like Paris is cool, but it kind of like the city life kind of reminded me of New York. Okay. And when you travel,
I've heard that before.
When you travel, it's like I don't want to go
somewhere that reminds me. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to go somewhere different.
Yeah.
But that's not knocking Paris. Paris is really cool and it has a lot of beauty to it. You know what I mean? But Nice is cool because the vibe of the city is different. People are more lax.
Okay.
And
that's needed.
The beach isn't. You don't go to the beach because you want to tan, because there's no sand, so it's just rocks.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, but you want to go because the water feels amazing. The French Riviera, that's the French Riviera, and it feels amazing. Like the water is like, it's like a perfect temperature.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Is it clear? Like, can you see the bottom?
Nah, it's not like that. I mean, like, it's clear, but it's not like OD clear.
Like transparent?
Like Bahamas.
Right,
like,
okay.
But it's more so the
like the feel of it.
The feel of the water, yeah.
Okay.
And you can almost just float.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really, really, really beautiful. I definitely recommend. And I'm sure there's other probably places in France that might be beautiful. But yeah, the world is wild.
The world is wild. So like I called out for like Belize and Fiji because those are just like.
Yeah, Belize, Fiji, yeah.
Like that sounds just nice.
Remember seeing the commercials as a kid?
Yeah, I'm just like I want to go fucking there.
Yeah, look at the water.
Look at the water. Yeah. Like we don't get that shit over in New York. What?
Some dirty ass water.
Yeah. I think like
But we still go. So, you know, how many times?
To the beach?
Yeah.
You know the funny thing is like, growing up I used to go to the beach way more than I go now. Like I don't like going. I go to the beach for my son. That's it. And I stay.
You're a trooper.
Close. I'm a trooper. Because every time it's beach day, I'm just like, God. Just pack up everything.
All for him, right?
It's literally all for him. You have fun. Like I wear a bathing suit for you, so because I know you're gonna want to, bring me to the water, the whole shebang. Yeah. But I'm a pool type of person, like, and not even a crowded pool. Like I like
private pools.
Private pools, like 1 or 2 people max. Like, you know, but
Like you go to a hotel, would you go to
that's
a hotel?
why I go to hotels for the pool. Like I don't go for the resort itself. Like when I'm checking out hotels, I'm like, show me what the pool looks like.
That's the thing. All right, because I was gonna tell you, but you're just too classy of a woman. So you're not gonna go. You're not gonna want to go.
Shoot it to me, shoot it to
But
me.
like I'm saying, all right, if you want to go to certain of these places and not have to pay so much money, hostels is what I would recommend.
I would go to a hostel.
Yeah, hostels,
Yeah.
but it's not as fancy as a hotel.
No.
But like when you go to a hostel, it's cool because 9 times out of 10, they're all dope places aesthetically.
Yeah.
You can choose between dormitory or have your own room.
Okay.
If you choose dormitory, it's like the prices is crazy. Like
Right.
I'm talking about like 10 to 15 euros.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then if you want to have your own room, that's still not that expensive. Could range though from like 20 to 50 euros a night.
Okay.
But that's still less expensive than if you were to go to a hotel in that same city.
Right.
So like,
I think
it's relative.
So like I think classy, like I'm a classy when it comes to experience.
Right. No,
but in
I'm
terms
sure you wanna enjoy yourself when you're out
like
there, right?
aesthetically, I like more like the how to put it. Like I like culture aesthetic. So if I'm gonna go somewhere, like I don't want to go. Like it's nice to go to like resorts type because I guess if you don't know the culture and you're not really too keen on like exploring outside of that.
Right.
But I like cultural aesthetic. Like show me what your culture is about. Like don't fix up the place to American standards because you know you're having tourists come in. Like fix it up how you want to fix it up. I dig that shit. Like I like it because it's just like stepping into a whole other world. Like the resort is there. Like I'll go to the resort for the bar. That's fine. But if I'm gonna like travel or when I do start traveling like heavily, I want to immerse myself in the culture. And I got that from my brother. Like he's a traveler.
Yeah.
Like he'll pick up and go.
Anywhere.
You know, anywhere. Like I think the last place he visited was like Thailand. And he would always call me like, I'm getting $5 massages. And I'm just like, oh, that's dope. You know, I get a $5 massage over here, but that's cool. And he got like tattoos in Thailand. And
times 10 here.
No, legit. And like the tattoos, just how they looked, you know, was different. The instrument that they used was different. Like that's what I want to experience. I don't want to go someplace and like I feel like I'm in, like you brought New York to that country.
Right.
Like, no, I'm literally in a whole different country. I don't want to think about America right now.
Right.
But then bougie, or not bougie, classy in terms of like, I want to have like a top-notch experience.
Right.
So don't give me a shitty time.
Right.
You know? And I think I've heard like a lot of people who've went to France is just like, it's touristy, you know? Like literally, and I'm pretty sure you have beautiful places, but it's just like, you go to France knowing that you're a tourist in France. Like, you know, the attractions are geared towards tourism.
Right.
Kind of like that. But in Thailand, it's just like, listen,
We out here.
we out here. You're in our space, you know? So you got to adjust.
Yes.
So I like experiences like that.
Having to switch your entire perspective of how to live life.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, this is just this version, just a different language.
Like you don't expect certain things when you go to other countries. It's not America. I think like a lot of I like when I read in the stories of like those celebrities who get jammed up for smoking weed, and like I feel bad for them, but I'm just like, but literally don't.
Like, what the
Why
fuck?
would
You should have looked up.
You should have looked up where the fuck you were going.
Right.
Like and I feel
Well,
like
you think you have a bypass because you're American?
because you're American. No, I feel like
ignorant shit.
that's ignorant. I feel like people, and I feel like a lot of Americans are just like, well, I'm American, and
so
I'm
that
gonna
don't
go.
mean anything to me. Yeah.
But it does.
Yeah,
And then when you're in jail, because you're in here, and then when you're in jail, they're looking at you like America.
America.
Who? I don't even speak English properly. We're not communicating in the way you thought we would. Like, you're not getting that pass.
That's another thing too. Language is such a barrier, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if we all had one language that we would speak. Do you think that would change the whole entire world, or not? Still fighting over the same shit.
Still fighting over the
You
same
fuck my
shit.
bitch?
Legit. It's just now I'm talking in a language we can understand. Like, that's it. You know, I think it's beautiful that like people have culture and language. And like, I hate when they say like, okay, come to America and assimilate. Like, speak the language of the country. I'm like, first of all, this country is a melting pot. Let's remember that. And literally, the whole design of America was just like, you are free to be whoever the fuck you want to be. So I feel like as long as you can understand, like you should be able to on some level, like, especially if you're working, you should be able to at a certain level translate, like I should be able to understand or get the point that you're saying. It doesn't have to be clear. So you can speak broken English as long as I can understand what you're saying and we can get some type of transaction going on. That's fine to me. But don't lose your culture. Like keep that, like I don't think that people come here.
That's the best part about America.
Yeah.
Well, that should be
the best part.
Right.
It's not like, you want to take ESL classes by all means, but don't think that in taking those classes, that means you have to just drop your language. Like I've known a lot of people that they've been through ESL and then when they come out, it's just like, well, now it's just like, I'm American. It's just like, no, you're not fully American. Like there is still a part of you that you should hold on to, especially if you grounded yourself in that culture.
Right.
Like for me, like I've never really grounded myself in like Ethiopian culture. I wasn't there that long or British culture. So like the only culture I have is American, is New York.
Right.
And not even American, New York specifically.
Yeah. 'Cause you're not a Midwest girl.
Yeah, I'm a New York girl.
Right.
And even I hate saying that because it's just like people get this assumption like, oh, well, you from New York, so you this, and then it's just like, no, I'm Zoey. I just happen to, unfortunately, live in New York.
Unfortunately?
I don't like this state.
No?
No, I don't like New York. I don't.
Damn.
It's too fast paced.
Who we talking about? Like, where else would you want to go?
Virginia?
Virginia.
I've heard good things about Virginia.
Okay.
So this is my thing. Like, the reason why I haven't made the jump to move yet is because, like, I want to experience the state for myself first, because there's a difference between like hearsay and you experiencing. Like 100,000 people could tell me like Virginia's awesome.
Yeah, but there's also another difference between like visiting and then
living. That's the thing.
That's a whole other thing too.
Yeah, like
because like that could play a role, They're like, oh, you pass by for like a week or two and then you think like
this is great, this is the life.
Amazing. Yeah,
no,
like
you're not working there. You're not experiencing.
But then there's also like everything got its thing, right? And we gotta just be appreciative to what we do have.
Okay, so yes, I appreciate New York.
I'm not saying that you don't.
No, because I feel like now I had to check myself. Like, but wait, Zoe, because you know that if you left New York, shit would be completely different, and the adjustment period might not be as smooth as you think it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So like, I appreciate New York for like its convenience and its culture. Like, we have a lot of rich culture here that you can't find anywhere else. But I just feel like it comes. Does it come at a cost? Like, at what cost does it come?
Your whole life.
And that's what I'm not with. Like, I want to be able to, like, get off of work at a reasonable time.
Right.
I want to be able to, like, experience. No,
it's okay.
Okay.
It's
still
the camera
recording.
Died, but the audio is.
Period. It's picking it up.
So,
okay. I want to be able to, like, get off of work at a reasonable time, live life, not worrying about, like, the rush that I'm going to have to go into the next day. Other states, the work-life balance is just beautiful. Get off of work at a reasonable time. It's still sunlight outside.
Yeah.
You can still do stuff.
Yeah.
And the living is not so fast.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like New York, time slows down. The thing about New York is it's like we can adjust because we're living in the concrete jungle. Like, this shit is crazy, right? And if you can survive here, I do think that you can go anywhere and survive. But it's just like, you traumatized.
But I think that's also the point. It's like, yeah, you can live anywhere and survive, so why don't you just go do
it? So why don't you live in New York? Like, you've been surviving this long.
Go do it. Yeah, live somewhere else, I'm saying.
Actually, yeah, true.
But who knows, right?
Who knows?
Do you have any questions for me?
Can I come back?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that's number one.
Definitely.
Okay, so starting your podcast, because I feel like I want to start a podcast, right? Well, no, I do want to start a podcast.
I think you definitely would do a great job.
Thank you. I think it's just like, give me like the reality of like time, like how time consuming, and not in a bad way, but like how much of my.
If you want to start a podcast, I could definitely help you, and that would eliminate a lot of time, because like a lot of errors
will be covered.
Come across,
yeah.
And not having to waste all that time.
Yeah.
I could just give you that breakdown.
Okay.
So that, boom, already would eliminate a lot of time.
Gotcha.
Once you're in the motion of creating the podcast itself, it's all a matter of how long is that podcast.
Okay.
And then editing that podcast isn't that complicated. It's probably going to take double the amount of time of that podcast.
Oh, okay. So, like, filming is different from editing. Like, you'll spend more time editing than you will do. Okay.
Right. So that you want to set aside, so whatever amount of time is the podcast, and then you want to set aside 2 more hours or so for
editing and just
right,
making
exactly.
sure. Okay.
But
How much, like, how important is aesthetic in the podcast,
Aesthet-
especially if you're doing visually?
I think aesthetic is very important, and I'm not anywhere where I should be. Like it's been a growing process.
Yeah.
I know that aesthetically, you should have different lights.
Oh, okay.
You should have you should understand, like, I have the camera settings in the proper
Perfect.
settings
Right,
for
okay.
the environment. So
Okay.
that's good. But there's also, like, lights that you could put into roll, color lights, or just
Okay.
regular white lights. Some people have a whole actual homey aesthetic or modern aesthetic. I just have a black. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool, but, like, it could be better.
Okay.
I feel like what we find aesthetically pleasing, especially in certain podcasts, what I find is, like, stuff that's growing. So, like, plants and stuff, like, you know what I mean? That's, like, that's light, like, bringing light to it. So eventually, I would want to evolve into that, but it's just, like, everything step by step by step by step.
Yeah.
But,
And I think so. It's important to, like, trust the process as well. So I've kind of got that concept down already. But I think, like, my biggest fear comes from, like, are people going to watch? Are you going to be interested in what I have to say? Because it's not like I have, like, a set guideline for how I want it to go. It's kind of like whatever we talk about and then just run with it. But it's always the fear of just, like, because I think if you start, you have some people, I guess, that, like, let me see. People are, like, drawn too easily, and not with a camera in front of their face, just out in life. So for people who don't really have, like, that aura of people are drawn to them easily, right? Like, when you set up a podcast, how do you draw people in? Or is it just you have to trust the process that those kind of people will find you?
I think it's more that, because at the end of the day, do you want to sit across from someone you don't vibe with?
No.
You want to sit beside people that you do vibe with. Your people will rise to you. You know what I mean? The same way you rise to them.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
And I think that as far as will people listen, you gotta not give a fuck. You gotta not give a fuck, because, like it all ranges.
But is there
and all the people that you would have on the podcast, their followers doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. Like, it's because out of their followers, there's only some people that even care about them that much to want to see what they're talking about.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
And it's like, all that doesn't matter. All that's just noise.
So, but is there a certain percentage of that? Is there a certain percentage that does matter, though? So you can say not giving a fuck, and there's a big percentage of not giving a fuck.
It depends on what you want. You know what I mean? Like, if you want your objective to be, like, people, your views and all that, like, then if that's important to you, then that's what's gonna be important to you. But, like, the product, gotta be important to you. Okay. Because, like, who you have on and what you value and, like, everything that... I'm not just having anybody on my podcast. That's true. It's just, like, I want to make sure, first of all, I know I can speak to that person. Yeah. First, I know that, like, that person has something to say. Like, that there's that connection. You know what I mean?
No, I get that. Okay.
So, if I'm not going to... I'm not going to waste my time with that. And I'm not charging anyone to be on my podcast. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you're here from your own... Yeah, exactly.
So, like, how do you... Because I remember one time I asked you, like, oh, hey, would you mind having someone on your podcast? And then you kind of, your answer was real. It's just like, you don't invite everyone on your podcast. That's fine. So, like, how do you go through the selection process of, like, not really selection, but it's just like, yeah, you would be a good fit. Come on my podcast.
First of all, I have to know them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And if I don't know them...
Well, yeah, because it's your home. You're inviting someone to your home,
And if I don't know them... It depends on how the conversation was on the DMs.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you have people that, like, hit your DMs like, hey, I would like to be on your podcast. Okay.
And then it's like, some people I just don't respond back. I don't like how
I love it. It's like, that's your answer. You should know how that goes. Okay.
I just don't respond back. And then some people I'm like, I'll ask certain questions back. I'm not saying you'd be on my podcast yet.
But depending on, like, the feedback that you get.
Depending on that conversation... Okay.
So have you ever had, like, a person that you said okay to that after you're just like, I should not have invited you on my podcast.
Yes, but not. I just think that I don't think it was the person's fault. I think it was my fault because I had scheduled 2 podcasts that day, and that was the first time I ever did that, and that was too much.
Okay.
So I don't think my mental state was enough for that person.
Okay.
Therefore, I can't even blame that person.
Yeah.
You know, but and there was one other time, the 10th episode, where I came from a bad night, where it was like a fucked up night. Trusted someone I shouldn't. Had a bunch of people come to that thing. They all wasted their time. I wasted my time.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. We come back to do a podcast. Some of the people that I had allowed to come back, I didn't even know. And then like, if you see the podcast, you see what I'm talking about. But it's like, and you learn from that. You know, it's like, okay, you do want to be particular to who you bring, and you do want to make sure that your time isn't wasted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it's valued. That person's valued. You know what I mean? Because they should feel valued.
In terms of like the content and conversation that.
Yeah, it's like the person's time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
You could have done so many other things. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, of course.
For real.
It's the conversation. Yeah. Take your mind different places. Now you know. So yeah.